Good morning, everyone. This is Carlos Vilas coming at you from Temple University Hospital. Just wanted to touch base with you guys to explain the video from yesterday and why I felt it was relevant. So basically right now, we have a bit of a problem, and it's pointing out to what I was referring to yesterday. I know you guys have all employees at Temple University Hospital and members of PASNet received a letter recently about the ordinance that's going to be enforced by the DOH. And it's basically making Temple do what they were supposed to do, which is being stated as a victory. I'm not going to go that far, but I'm going to say it's a good beginning. And these are my personal reasons for that. Currently, right now, there's a lot of things going on that's not being reported to the membership. And, I take myself too seriously to just come on here and to be having news articles and filming for the papers and for the news and not being able to come back to the membership I work with at the hospital and relay the information that's needed. So, let's touch base on that real quick. Right now, there is an influx of affected nurses here at Temple University Hospital. And, there could be numerous contributing factors. And I'm not going to give too much information, but I know it's quite a bit. It's not something I'm happy to hear, of course. I'm pretty sure you guys working here are like, how is there an influx? We have less and less COVID patients in the hospital. At least that's how it's perceived to be. The problem is we have to make sure that we have the PPEs and that we all understand that COVID has not gone anywhere. With everything that's been going on with the protests, people not taking social distancing seriously, all throughout the country, COVID cases are climbing. And just because people stop testing or people manipulate numbers so that you can't tell what's happening, we have to be paying close attention to what's going on. It saddens me to hear that the number of nurses that are positive right now is climbing, but it could have been preventable. When this pandemic first started, we had hundreds of techs and professionals at Temple University Hospital out on quarantine. We argued the PPE situation, and nobody really cared. And when I say nobody really cared, we went to legislation, everything that happened, and we were fighting for and striving for. The beginning of the pandemic in March is stuff that we're accomplishing now in June. But how many people have been exposed, how many people have been affected, and how many of the local leaders are reporting this back to the members? You see, I've said it once and I said it again. My job here is to represent the people and not to negotiate with management, not to make friends with management, but to hold them accountable. I have a pretty decent working relationship with most of the people here, but once again, my job is to fight for the people. My job is not to be a Facebook superstar or to be making allegations about being on the front line when you're hiding in a unit somewhere that doesn't deal with COVID. We got to stop the BS, and we have to inform the membership of what's going on. And since a lot of leaders are too scared to fight and they prefer to negotiate, I promise you guys, doesn't matter if you're a tech, a professional, a nurse, a housekeeper, I don't care your union affiliation. If you're a healthcare provider, you work at this hospital, I'm going to advocate for you. I'm going to fight for you. I'm not going to negotiate your rights and negotiate your health and well-being. Moving forward, I meant what the hell I said on that video. There's going to be a lot of videos popping up like this, and I could care less about the backlash and the people complaining, because the members to our hospital and members straight across the country, any organization, hospital, whether it's union or not, they need to know what's going on, and they need to be prepared. And with all the sadness in the world, we can't lose focus that we're still in the middle of a pandemic. While numbers might go low, which I hope, um, we're still not sure. A second wave is very possible, guys. And I'm not sure that Philadelphia, because I live in Philadelphia, I don't know if the cases have quite reached their peak. There's slow times, there's hot spots, there's been times that, the hospital has been full, but just because the border hospital is not full with COVID patients doesn't mean the regular hospital is. And I say this because a lot of hospitals are pushing these elective procedures, but what a lot of hospitals are not doing is informing the patients of the current circumstances. And, how we survive and move forward is going to be determined on how we choose to work together and how we choose to service the people that we represent. And it's time that people stop talking about what they're going to do and start working together to do it. Some people are going to say, Carlos is making videos that's divisive now. Carlos is making videos that's going to be calling everybody's ass out, that doesn't fight for the members and claims one thing on an article and does nothing in real time. We have a lot of strong leaders in this hospital. Unfortunately, not all stand up and represent. And I'm going to be calling your ass out. It's time that we represent the membership the way they deserve. It's time that we give the membership the information they deserve. Because what's happening right now, it went from the non-essential workers to the techs and professionals, now the nurses. It should have never went this far. If instead of negotiating with management, we fought and held them accountable to get the proper PPEs. I know a lot of great leaders on the nursing side, and it was a struggle. Because while most of us are fighting, some of us feel it's better to negotiate. How many lives must be risked and lost before we fix what's going on in the health system? We have the systemic racism that we're fighting outside, and we have the systemic racism and disregard for all life inside the hospitals. So guys, whenever we're pushing forward in the future with any type of procedures, whenever you're coming to work at the hospital, please reach out to your local leaders. Please make sure that you all are being kept up to speed with what's going on. And I caution everybody, by taking words out of content and thinking that what just happened here with the government is a victory. It's a great first step, but there's no such thing as a victory when we have a high number of affected cases and a low number of COVID patients in the hospital. Obviously, the PPEs that everybody was using at the beginning was giving them the protection needed. Right now, what's being provided is not necessarily up to par, and if it was, why such a high infectious rate? If you come to work at the hospital, pretend every patient's COVID, take care of yourself, practice proper social distancing. Don't lax, don't be in break rooms with 20, 30 people. Don't be walking around with your mask on your nose, underneath your nose or at your mouth. Protect yourself, guys. Be smart. And at the end of the day, don't believe the BS. It'll be one thing if there are no active COVID cases in this country. It'll be one thing if we didn't have one COVID patient in the hospital. But currently, right now, these are not the cases and these are not the facts. And we have leaders throughout the hospital, on the tech side, the professionals, and also on the nursing side. Reach out to your reps, reach out to your leaders, and make sure they're giving you the information you require. And if you feel things are not kosher, you feel things are not right, as I stated yesterday, I'm the president of the Texas Professional here at Temple, and it is my job and my executive board's job and everybody I work with's job to service the people and make sure we're safe. Moving forward, we will get what we need. And, when you read the letter that was sent out by PASNAP, you're going to see there's a lot of good stuff on there that is a great beginning to what we need. The problem I have with it is it would have been great if that would have happened at the beginning of our pandemic. Everything that's going on is just like the president, and it's leaving us at the front line wanting the respect that we need, wanting the proper protection that's required, because I don't know what companies and administrators are doing. I know some hospitals have the PPEs they have and require, and that's great. I'm happy to hear that the pressure and the attention that we've been fighting for is working. But currently at the hospital I work in, that's not the case. And, you know, I don't care how people sugarcoat it. I don't care how people present it. Right now we have to make sure that we understand that in order for us to take care of the patients, we have to be in good health. And if we start dropping like flies, who will be left to take care of the patients? They'll be fooled by the hype and the BS. They'll be fooled by the negotiations happening behind the scenes. Because one thing I can guarantee you here at Temple, we will continue to fight, and we're going to continue to make sure that we get what is needed to bring you guys the proper protection and information to protect not only you but your families. You know, we're a union that strives on diversity, of unity, and empowerment. And knowledge is power. And me making these little videos and keeping you guys up to speed is my way of letting you guys know that there is a union that doesn't just take your money and just doesn't organize around contracts. We're a union that fights for everyone, and we're going to continue to, against all odds and against all BS. You know, 10 years ago, I started a path here. And sometimes management doesn't understand that some of the best reps ever to come out of union shops, or shop stewards, as people call them, come out from circumstances just like this. You know, when is enough enough? When do you actually provide the services that empower people to empower themselves? And like it or not, I'm going to see this through the very end. I'm not going nowhere anytime soon. My voice will not be silenced, and the people I represent from all locals and all backgrounds will be protected and will be fought for. And any leader that has any problem with what I'm saying, get off your ass and stop judging. Get on the bandwagon and help me fight the fight. And then you can go back to your kumbaya and your lovely relationships with management. And understand that I'm not here to sugarcoat shit. I'm not here to be lying to my people and to misrepresent the facts. Because the facts are, everybody in this hospital that has leaders, that has locals, already knows that everybody is not helping the fight. Everybody already knows that if we really had a unified stance from all locals and all members, we will be able to hold people accountable. But that's not the freaking case. But go ahead, keep on making your little articles, keep on being famous. I'm gonna keep on calling everybody out, and don't ever represent the people here at this institution and claim to be doing something you're not. Because one thing we're not here is stupid. Like I said, the way the order from the governor came out was presented as a victory. I am not going to say that's misleading. I'm just going to say it was misquoted. It's a great step for what we are pushing for. Now we can hold Temple accountable for what they haven't provided. But unfortunately, hundreds of us have been affected, have been exposed, and we only know what happens in the short term of this disease. We don't know what happens in the long term of this disease. So with that being said, guys, let's not believe the hype. Gloves, masks, wipe your hands, hand sanitizer. Be mindful when you see people acting stupid in the break rooms, call them out. Protect us. Protect you. People out here in the streets thinking that, you know, it's summertime and you want to party, you want to be at the beach. You can do anything you want. Just be smart, practice social distancing, and make sure that moving forward, we protect ourselves. What's up, Jamila? And that's pretty much it, man. I'm going to be coming at you guys with all types of videos. I'm going to be encouraging all the different leaders of my executive board to start posting their videos as well. Knowledge is power. Unity is key. In order for us to prevail and to survive this pandemic, we got to be smart and we got to be above the bullshit. Never trust the government that abandoned you. Never believe the leaders that told you we'll be okay, because that's far from the case and how many people have died. My job is to make sure that I can control any life and anybody affected by this disease and these circumstances in a positive way. Every life matters. Every person is worth something. And it's not about a price, and it's not about an experiment, and it's not about being foolish. You can make all the money in the world. One thing you can never buy with money is health. And it's time that we start taking a step back to identify what is happening at the good hospitals, focus on what's happening at the bad hospitals, and then just be like, guys, something ain't right. And I think that, one thing you guys know about me, when we start organizing and we start unifying just like we did May Day, we grab a situation, we grab an idea, and we turn it into a movement. And we make sure that we get our people involved. And that's the difference, and why people never understand why our local is the way it is compared to other locals, because we are member-ran, member-driven. We do not allow individuals to run the local. The people run the local. And it's a fight, and it's a fight every day, and it's a fight that I'm proud to be leading, because everybody that shares my title doesn't share my passion and my vision. And it's okay on how you fight. Everybody doesn't do it the same way. But God damn it, fight. Stop negotiating. Stop waiting for 70-something victims to pop up and then make it an issue. Why wasn't this an issue when a couple hundred people were affected back in March, back in April, back in May? Nobody likes a half-assed person. And I hope and I pray that you guys are listening. I know my political chairs have been working on enlightening people who their state legislators and representatives are. Keep on picking up the phones. Keep on calling everybody. Your union leadership, your state legislators, your government, your governor. Great order, Governor. How are you going to enforce this now? How are you going to help the unions and the frontline people be protected? Don't talk the bullshit and question his ass. Why did it take so long for it to come out? This happened in March, and now we're in June. How many lives could have been saved, and how many healthcare workers could have been spared being hospitalized and being affected? That's not going to be on my head. That's going to be on the CEO's heads that abandoned us. And I'm not here to point fingers at anybody, and please don't take it that way. The root cause of the pandemic and the disregard for human life, that came from our president. And I'm going to leave you with this, just like I've said about the protests and everything else that we've ever fought for. If you're watching me fight and you're appreciating it, but you're on the sideline being quiet, that silence speaks wonders, for the simple fact, this is not my fight, this is all our fight. If you come into this hospital, I don't care if you're a housekeeper, I don't care if you're a doctor, I don't care if you're a nurse, a pharmacy tech, a respiratory therapist, a lab tech, a OR tech, you need to be protected. And don't believe the bullshit that's being fed to you about PPEs not needed, them reassessing who needs it, who don't. Start reaching out to your union leaders. Start getting the information you need to protect yourself. And make sure moving forward that you are aware of circumstances. Real soon we'll be having a couple Live on Fives coming out. One to address the BS at the hospitals. Another one to address what's going on in America today. And we are going to be coming at you guys with a forum, in which is going to be 5 or 6 local union leaders talking to the people. And I'm trying to open this up to all members of all hospitals throughout the city. I want to hear what's working. I want to hear what's not. I want to hear the sad stories. We have a couple sad stories here at Temple. And we'll go into that. But moving forward, guys, I just want everybody to be safe, be blessed, and most important, be aware. Um, don't don't fall into no traps and don't get comfortable, because once you're caught slipping, this disease might make you a victim and a patient here at Temple or at your local hospital. It's time to be smart. It's time to practice. The best way to beat the disease is to eliminate it, not to disregard it and have it come back and bite you in your ass. That's not what we're here to do. And I hope all of you guys find this video with love, with affection, and it's not to scare you, it's to enlighten you and to prepare you. I don't want to see any more victims and any more tragic stories that I've seen for the last couple months. You know, it's hard. 2020 has been a devastating year. There's a lot of mayhem. And while we keep on fighting the system and we keep on fighting the racial injustices that we've been dealing with in this country for way too long, also be mindful that we are also fighting for the protections we need and for the ability to protect you, your loved ones, and your family. Because you don't need somebody who could actually be a healthcare provider but then be a super spreader, getting other people sick because the hospital deemed fit that you didn't need such required PPE because Corona-19 left. Corona-19 did not leave anywhere. It might be a little dormant now, but I can't tell. Cases are climbing all over. Once we start ramping up testing, I'm pretty sure my hospital's gonna start filling up soon too. And there's no need because it's preventable. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Be safe, be blessed, stay aware, pick up the phone, make those phone calls, ask your people what's going on.